Another night at 5:33 a.m. Awakened since 12 a.m. The day has begun 5-6 hours ago, 5-6 hours of continuous changing alchemy from disease, acid, and sickness, and hopelessness, and overwhelming thoughts, to the dawn of the day, and in the singing of the cuckoo, and calmness of the stomach. Everything changed, everything alchemized, from dukkha to dhamma. All things they began to alchemize. Overwhelms they alchemized into plans and reflections of past lessons. Fears of not succeeding to play my part here on earth, alchemized in hope and faith. A heavy stomach digesting has alchemized into a clear one, allowing the body to do its part, allowing the mind to perform what it needs to perform, and not having the system with excess processing and killing alchemy of the insides. Everything starts in the stomach, my friend. And not in the stomach as in the stomach bag, but in the whole digestive system, going from tooth and throat and esophagus and the stomach bag and the small intestine, traveling and fermenting and absorbing and into the greater intestine. And all this digestive system, it conditions life just as much as breathing conditions life and the body. Well, breathing conditions instantaneously. Feel in a way, feel in a certain alchemy, and it is enough to change your breathing, to be fast or deep or short, or all sorts of combinations and the areas in which the air goes, and the alchemy will change. Feel at the urge of crying, of being broken down and wanting to lay down the arms and accept defeat and cry. And only through 5-6 heavy breaths you will see your darkest fears. They will alchemize into power and strength. Clench your face muscles as you breathe, the neck muscles, the shoulder muscles, and breathe. Breathe their power and feel the body load with tension and strength as I need to fucking grab this pull-up bar and lift. Or the opposite. In anger and stress and inflammation and overwhelming and lust and greed, all the low frequency emotions which all religions speak about, they can be alchemized through simple breathing. Of course, just as spoken before, there is a great difference between the mind forcing the breath to calm down or the mind watching the breath calm down. When the mind watches the breath calm down, it simply becomes aware and opens up the neural path. All the neural paths are open, and the body is free to activate as it needs. The extraordinary, wise, magical, and intimate body autonomic systems, just as digestion or blood flow or supplying with what it needs to be supplied. When the mind takes a step back from already written programming, and that happens only through light, when there is light in the first place, then the mind can lift the fog, can lift the predefined patterns, and allow the body to do as it may, to move as it may, to breathe as it may. So the body will naturally realize that in many, many occasions the breathing is unnecessarily short and shallow. Of course, the natural truth, we never can ignore them nor leave them at the door. That is, the air quality will be extraordinarily important, as well as any other suffering arising on any other realm, from physical to mental to emotional. But when the mind, through wisdom and faith, has begun to understand and alchemize those sufferings, then the breathing will calm itself down. And the mind can just watch it calm down. And if it watches it calm down, then it will calm down even more, but it is not forced. Any vice one man might have of any suffering, there is a very fine line between freedom and discipline. Because the modern man had completely given up his freedom, it is very dangerous for when one begins to regain it, to fall fully under its spell. That is, to allow freedom to fully and continuously express. That is, to speak what you want to speak, to eat what you want to eat, to do what you want to do all the time, regardless. A body, just an animal, respected. But, as we can see, just as in any other dharma, too much freedom will prevent change. Too much freedom will no longer be freedom. The sweetness of freedom will no longer be the same, because it is never let go. And the body might just be ruled by animalic means, by the strong buffalo with strength and power, and not by the wise one who holds when it's time to hold, who stops eating when it's time to stop eating, as the night approaches, and begins to meet it with faith and water and washing tooth and all the necessary tools it has gathered across lifetimes and experiences. Only when the two buffaloes meet. Because the mind, if it falls into full discipline mode, then it does not have the power to contain the beast. For a person who completely gives up freedom for a job, or an activity, or a relationship, or a person, or lifestyle, if you completely kill the freedom by forcing the body to go to the gym, by forcing the body to please everyone, by forcing the breath to calm down, by forcing the body to sit still when it wants to move. And then the mind will not possess the necessary power to do so, and will become, which is more importantly, it will become numb to the natural truths of the body, to the strong buffalo, to the beauty of the buffalo, of the animal, of the dog, which jumps around and moves and eats what it wants to eat. The mind will be completely disconnected in numbness because it has fallen into an excess of discipline. So, just as in any other dharmas, the sweet spot and the magic of life and the end of suffering is found in the fine line between those two. Just as in the art of moving, the true art lies in the fine line between movement and rest. Just so in the art of discipline and freedom, the true art lies in the fine line between discipline and freedom. Know the alchemies. Use the alchemies. They each have their own time to birth and to die. And if they are not respected by faulty patterns of pain and suffering and all external factors, which makes one blind to his own laws, the law-abiding citizen, when the laws are lifted and freedom falls into excess, or discipline, or movement, or rest, or love, or hate, anything falling into excess will bring suffering on all planes. Life is impermanent, anicca. That is the beauty of life. Always moving, always changing, always adapting. The great river of impermanence. Only one question remains. How well can you say it, my friend?